Do you know where your children are tonight? I don't either. I don't care. But tonight I'm shooting on a script as usual. Just the way I do things. Yes, I understand what I said. I'm a goose. That's not what I do. Oh, no, that's what a different day. Who cares? Anyways, what I'm here to do today is just to give you like a life update or some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, it's just like, I just want to start talking to people on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to make Cornbread cry. He's a bitch. What I meant to say is, you bitchin'. I miss you. And it goes on like a never-ending story. I'm not leaving all, so I'll just shut the fuck up. But basically, my plans for the future, not the far into the future. Oh my god, what am I seeing? Oh, turn the shit off. What I want to say is, I'm starting a journey. It's a journey I took about 21 years ago, but there's a lot more to do. I'm the same as that journey is. This is a journey toward the Dark Tower. Yes. But now, there's an 8th book to read. I got it on the internet. It's called The Wind Through the Keyhole. I have no idea what to expect from this book, except that it's like 4.5. So, I guess I'll sort of briefly go over my journey, my first journey to the Dark Tower. I've always been a fan of Stephen King. I mean, in my mind, he was up there with, he's like a paragon of authors. I don't know if that's still true. I don't know if that was ever really true. But, you know, just like, Stephen King. My name's Stephen, and I want to go King. No, you don't. Anyway, listen. I read it. Between 8th and 9th grade. I'm not already told this, so I don't give a fuck though. And it was a great journey. And I was like, wow. So after that, I was like, well, maybe the rumors are true. Stephen King is not a bad author, I guess. So, you know, I guess eventually I found like-minded people. You know, like Carrie and some other books. And like anytime I would go to a garage sale, I was like, what can I find here? Oh, Stephen King books. Like, one day, the strangest fucking thing, before I even knew what the Dark Tower was, even before I read it, I was at a garage sale, and this guy was just like, yo, here's a book, it's 10 cents. And I was like, oh, wow, this is 10 cents? This looks like a pretty decent book. It was paperback, but it was big. Here, actually. And this is the very book in question. The Dark Tower, Part 4. I'm like, what the fuck? Why did I start with number 4 before I started with others? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. This isn't Star Wars, man. Like 10 cents, here you go, dime, bye. And I just put it on a shelf and never thought about it again. And then, time grew on, and I met a guy named Mike Dion. I may have talked about him before. Well, this is a book he fucking wrote called Save the Princess. I haven't read that one yet. Maybe I should read it someday. Someday I might. So, I don't know who got me to read it, but so, you know what, you should read The Gunslinger of the Dark Tower Book 1. I'm like, well, maybe I will. And I did. And luckily, this is a very exciting time because I was 19 years old at that time. And if you read The Dark Tower, this is insanity, right? It's craziness. But I read the revised and expanded version. This isn't the version I read. I lent that to a bitch, and he never got back. I don't know why. And I had to buy this again off the internet. And, but then I enjoyed the Dark Tower so much, that I always wanted to go on the journey again, you know. And I wonder what it would be like to go rolling again now that I've read all the accoutrements. Like, I've read Insomnia, I've read Pet Cemetery, and all these other things in the Stephen King universe. And I was like, man, when am I ever going to read the Dark Tower again? And I downloaded illegally powerbay.org, you know, audiobooks. And I might have even listened to, I listened to Gunslinger many times. The Gunslinger fled across the desert, and the burning black followed. I definitely see this very carefully. Then, I turn this fucking TV off. This is some weird on the screen. So, yeah, throughout that summer when I was 19 years old, well, it may have been the summer, I don't know. I basically read the entire thing this summer that came out. Like, I went from the Gunslinger to the Drawing of the Three to the Wastelands. They're all around here somewhere. And then I luckily had the Wizard in Glass. I was like, shit, this is like Kismet or some fucking kind of Destiny, some bullshit. But then I was like, what am I going to do about the Wolf, the Call, and the Song of Susanna, which are out now? The Dark Tower 7, The Dark Tower, had not been published yet. So, but it was coming out very soon. So I was like, I need to get up. I need to get on this thing. I need to be a part of it when it's happening. So luckily my grandparents were it's like, I gotta talk about gifts sometimes, you know? It's like, it's the thought that counts. And I received these books for Christmas from my grandparents. But I've never actually read these copies here, because I got them out of the library. I read the library's version of the library's copy. Sorry, Blake. Don't worry about it. Okay. And then here's the Song of Susanna. Oh, won't you cry, boy? Oh, she comes from Alabama with a song in her heart. So lovely. What is this? For Tabby, who knew when it was done. Oh, did she? Well, why did she do that? What is the Wolf of the Color transcription here? Let's read this. Dark Towers 5. Wolves of the Color with 12 full color illustrations by Bernie Wrightson. Let's just take a look at this illustration right here. It's a little provocative. Whoa. Is that Susanna or Dara or oh my God? Who doesn't know that? So yeah, I finished the Dark Tower 7, the Dark Tower, right when I was entering. It was about Halloween time, I guess, and I was in St. Clair County Community College, SC4 if you're nasty, and I was in a literary dissection, or basically a class that allows you to view literature from many different perspectives and dissect it from the perspective of, like, what was the author's intentions, what does the time of its publication say about the intentionality of what's written there, and then there's many other ways to look at it, but I think the most important way is your personal, subjective viewpoints on things, and I can read you exactly what I was thinking during that time about the Dark Tower, and I will do thusly right now. Just to get to the page. My writing. Where is it? What the fuck? Motherfucker. The journey has ended. Basically, my final thoughts on Stephen King's magnum opus, The Dark Tower, written by Stephen Hohmann upon finishing The Dark Tower. Okay. I started my journey to The Dark Tower almost. Started my journey to the Dark Tower at the beginning of this past summer, written around November 2004. I had just finished my second reading of It, and read online that Stephen King's Dark Tower novels had connections to many of his other books, It included. I had recently decided It was my favorite book of all time, so I had to satisfy my curiosity on what this gunslinger business was all about. I found out that over the course of the past 30 years, the series of 7 novels had been published one at a time. The first started way back in 1970. The final installation was due out in November. Wow. It being June, I decided the timing was great. I can't believe this shit myself. I wrote it, so it must be true. I decided the timing was great. I finished the 6th that were already out just in time to read the last. It was a choice time to begin because some people had been waiting quite possibly their entire lives, some even going to their deathbed in unfortunate ignorance without knowing what was at the top floor of the tower. As it turned out, I turned through them all at a decent pace, not having to wait more than a few days between each book. I finished the last one about a week ago. A day hasn't gone by since that Sunday in June when Roland's Quest was on my mind. When I started reading The Gunslinger, I was jobless. I just finished my second year of college, and I had a lot of free time. Besides hanging out, the only thing I really did that summer and the following fall was read. You know, Roland's Quest became my quest. I became a member of this quartet, for better or for worse. I started seeing the number 19 everywhere, and still do. I can say that pretty much accurately to this day as well. This is a little addendum personally. Stephen Hohmann of 12/21/2024. I see the number 19 everywhere I go, and sometimes I'm a personal red on the wall. Yeah. The characters of the novel became so real to me. Traveling with them for what seemed like forever made the quest so much more personal. I had a stake in their success or failure. No other book I've read has actually made me feel a part of the story like this one. I've never voiced such connections with characters as this one. A few of my friends had read the earlier ones years ago, and once the last one came out, they finished it in days. They wanted me to do the same so we could go over theories and favorite parts, etc. But I really made myself take it easy. I never really rushed myself except for the last 100 pages of each novel in a manic frenzy to finish, taking over at 3 a.m. It's irresistible. With no job, it was entirely feasible. See, I guess that makes sense. I didn't have a job, so from June until November, I was like, yo, it's June, I'll be gone until November. Give a kiss to my mother. It's irresistible. With no job, it was entirely feasible. I spent about a month with each one, finding it hard to stay away from internet message boards with spoiler pages. Oh god, that pain in my existence. A couple times I got close to ruining the whole damn thing, but I stopped myself. The ending. My initial reaction, moments after finishing, was almost disappointment. That's too strong a word. It was regret that it was over. After putting it on the shelf, I sat out in the darkness of my living room, around 4 a.m. I think, and I just compiled in the second I digested the whole thing and decided that I loved the ending. It was perfect. Anything else would have been false and a failure, I think. The ending is so romantic is the word I think I'm looking for. Try to find words that actually describe my feelings on this saga. I know that I can read this mammoth text 5 or 6 times and still find new and exciting revelations that I didn't notice in my first read-through. Half his other novels are connected to the Dark Tower somehow as well, so it's as if there are still chapters to be read, mouths to harvest, and all that. I've never gotten so much out of a story before. I never read a story that flat out changed who I am and how I see things while reading this novel. This is the kind of story that makes me want to be a writer and go farther in college pursuing English. If I could write a story that touches just one person as dramatically as this one touched me, I guess I'd die happy. I'm not saying I'm naive enough to think that all the money Mr. King has made in his success would be nice as well, but I'm 20 years old. I can be idealistic still, am I right? Well, I guess my whole... I was 19 years old when I read the whole series. Oh, maybe I was 19 right when I just started, but then I turned 20. Oh, what a shame. Anyways, so yeah, that's sort of how as I wrote in November of 2004, I always wanted to try and see the journey again through new eyes with all the experience under my belt. But I guess fucking 20 years later, it's time to do it already. Okay. So that's where my head's at right now. I was gonna sort of go over more shit, but I think that's quite enough. That's just like. That's just a love portion. A portion of my love for the Dark Tower. I'm this man right here. Oh my god. Oh, this is what it looks like. Typically. If you ever see this man, shake his hand. I don't know. Do whatever you want. But seriously. There's so much more to the Dark Tower. I read Insomnia finally, which is perhaps one of the most important pieces. I don't know. I started reading The Talisman, but sort of lost interest, or I just couldn't. It reminded me a lot of Ni no Kuni a little bit. And that's another game that I sort of picked up and just dropped right when it started to get interesting. And then there's the Little Sisters of Illyria, which I read the first portion, where it's sort of, and it's very interesting, I guess. It's there's really no cleared up edition of this, and I don't want to. I mean, turn back now if you want to hear any kind of theories from me, you know. I mean, King is nice enough to give us this opportunity at the end of the Dark Tower. It's like, if you want to just wonder what could be at the top of the Dark Tower, then quit right now. If you don't have the guts to spill your lifeblood, then just give up. Okay? So we're going now. There's no script involved this time. Maybe that's all I really need to say. So what I thought the Little Sisters of Illyria was a prequel or just a bonus addendum to maybe set up the Gunslinger even better, because it is said that the Gunslinger, which was written in 5 installments and published sporadically, I guess, in a fantasy magazine. I wish I knew the publication's name, but it escapes me if I ever knew it. But this is my theory. The Little Sisters of Valeria is actually another iteration of Roland's journey. Is the one that took beforehand in the published. What's published now, or is it? Does he have the horn that he lost on the Battle of Jericho Hill with him? It has not been indicated yet, and I've only read a small portion of this little short story, so it is what it is, and I'm excited to keep reading. And if you have any ideas or thoughts about this series, no spoilers, please. I'll sort of put on an indication on this video. Actually, do I even really need to? Let's talk about spoilers just very briefly, because when I get spoiled, my power goes on overdrive, bitches. And I think anyone is like that. Why do you have to be a fucking Maddox about shit? I mean, who cares if Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul die in episode 1? I mean, everyone knows that by now. Came out in 1999, right? Damn. Be a man. You exercise your real ultimate power, or commit seppuku, bitches. I don't think I'm gonna say no more. I'm just gonna say, peace out, and I love you all. You know you are. What? Fuck that shit. What do I do? A musical number. This is a very good song written by a person I really wish I knew how to know better. This is a song he wrote himself. It took him a long time and a lot of soul searching to get this song out of the system. And when I heard him sing it to the man it was written about, yes, this is a man singing about another man. This is my interpretation of that song right now. Billy. No kiss. Dude, what are you doing? God damn it, I fucked up the ending. No!